Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We're taking on a corner ball.
You are yourself.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were still doing these, but here we go. We're gonna take this one down. It's kind of interesting. Man, I don't. It's not necessarily the saves that are. It's not the saves' fault. What am I trying to say here? So the corner ball is strong because of how powerful the saves are. But because saves had gotten so powerful, everyone started coming up with strategies on how to beat corner balls. And the best way to do it is to quad, which is why Catra and Cordelia have become so prominent, ever present in the meta. And that's really what's going to happen here. It's kind of like not a great time to run a corner ball because pretty much everyone is running some type of triangle attack composition on offense. So pretty much everyone has a team that has Cordelia or Catra or Thea to provide triangle attack. Or even, let's say, wait until turn 4 with dual strike from... especially in Astra Anima, which is what I'm referring to. Evil Golvig, Evil Baby Golvig, who's the mythic. Or if you have dual Robin, you can just do that as well with the dual button. So not a great time to run this particular strategy because there's triangle attack is the main way that most people are playing the game right now, especially with Lyn, Emblem Lyn. It's just impossible to escape the 4 hits. Although, there is a possibility that, Cordelia is a premium unit on a seasonal banner. Same with Catra, Thea as well on the Ice Drive banner. So it's possible that, one of those 3, you'll run into someone who doesn't have one of those 3 units, as well as the fact that the other one, Mythic, she hasn't been on a banner in a while. And then also Baby Dual Robin was on a seasonal banner as well, even though it has been rerun already. But it's still, there's the possibility that you can potentially not run into someone with triangle attack or dual strike on their team. I'm trying to figure out if I should go on this turn or wait until the next turn. I think I may have used up some of my actions, particularly the dance. So I'm probably going to have to wait until next turn, which should be fine because Felix doesn't have the Celica ring. It's on Robin, which is not what I would recommend since that section where she is kind of boxed off. So she has no way to reach. Because she can't go on the water tile if she were to warp in. So it doesn't really benefit Robin to have the Celica ring. You really wanted to have it on Felix. But I think he has the Sigurd ring to make up for the movement since he's not getting Gust since he's getting Gust in on turn 1 with the Times Pulse. So compromise, but I don't think it's for the better. I don't think it's a good compromise there. But yeah, triangle attack is everywhere. Don't think it's a great idea to run this particular strategy, although percentages, you're more than likely to avoid, in the lower tiers, you're more than likely to avoid running into someone with a Catcher Ball dual strike strategy for offense. So it's probably, 50-50, I want to say. But I think you're better off just building a full defense to give your saves more support. Because that's essentially what this is. It's just that this is supposed to be difficult to break down, which it still is. But with triangle attack, you can bust through pretty much everything, especially with 5 hits. So, and especially Fjorm. Oh my God, Fjorm is Ice Drive Fjorm is pretty much donezo. It's kind of, when did she come out? What? All right, we had the CYL. And then after that was Ice Drive. So that was around August, actually, still. 8, 12, 4, 1 month, 5 months. And yeah, within 5 months, she's actually completely done. And the reason I say that is because we have Lyn. Plus, now, I don't even want to not Lyn. Lyn is cool. Yeah, that's neat. But we have Bridget, who pretty much just solos Lyn, and that's a problem. That's a big problem for Fjorm because Bridget has Miracle, and she's pretty much always winning the speed check from the matchups that I've done so far. She always wins the speed check against Fjorm. Everything being equal, meaning that there's no Seteth support in particular. But otherwise, Bridget is going to win the speed check against Fjorm, and she will pretty much destroy Fjorm in 2 hits. Not 3 or 4, 2 hits. That's all Bridget needs to take out Fjorm. So yeah, it's pretty much done for Fjorm, I want to say, which is unfortunate. 5 months, not the longest run, but it was a blast while it lasted. Gonna have to retire her or make her a near save, which I've been seeing quite a bit. She's actually a pretty decent near save in terms of speed, so not a bad option. Plus she already comes with shield fighter, so you don't really lose out on too much there. You just gotta give her near save, which is pretty available. So yeah, not a lot lost there, but yeah, she is pretty much done as a far save, I want to say, which is unfortunate.
Will do.
The only downside to running her as a near save is the Sigurd matchup, but I mean, if you have Divine Nectar, or even Breath of Life, I guess, she should be pretty much okay into Sigurd, especially since we don't have any melee units that can really, like, quad, so she should be fine. But I have Crom here, who will pretty much do the job that I'm gonna be, like, he's gonna quad if she is indeed a near save. And that should be fine. But yeah, she's done so. She's done, man. Which is pretty sad. I think you're probably better off going with Snake Lady, Neathhogger, the blue one. The blue one probably, since you're going to be putting her on defense. Either her or Hector, or even for Mortis, I want to say. I think I want to say for Mortis because he's more of a sleeper pick. No one's really, like, zoned in on him, and he's actually pretty nuts because of his weapon effect, where if you it's like shield session, like an upgraded tier 4 seal session, because seal session is, man, that's really hard to say fast. Seal session is actually terrible in terms of a seal,
Let's go.
because the more actions that you take, the less you get effects from it. So you have it on a unit, your opponent takes 3 actions without attacking, and then you've pretty much lost all value out of the shield session. Whereas for Mortis's weapon, the more actions that the opponent takes, the stronger he gets, which I feel is a better way for seal session to work. It's kind of more similar to blade session in a sense. Counter argument, if it is that the opponent can win in the first action, then I mean, it is increased likelihood that you can get defeated in the first action, but because for Mortis is just like really bulky, and he has that 80% unpierceable DR in his A skill. Well, not unpierceable, pierceable DR in his A skill. Plus, you can combo that with deflect missile, deflect melee, whichever one. I think it stacks, so he's just not gonna die that easily. So I think he's just overall the best. But the bulwark and the terrain effect from Hector are really, really good. And also, he's getting a guaranteed follow-up a lot of the time, so those 3 things are really, really good. I want to highlight the bulwark effect in particular, because I don't think anyone else has that as a support. And it is really, really good. It is really good. So, I don't know, it's really close between Hector and Ford Mortis, but I do still give Ford Mortis the edge, because if you attack into him and you fail, you lose an action. Or all of them, depending on the space condition for, you know, where your team is at. So, yeah, I want to say that would be the lineup. If you want to run like a corner ball like this one, you probably want to get Hector or for Mortis in there, plus Neathhogger. But then still, at the end of the day, it's going to lose because triangle attack is everywhere and the corner ball is not moving, so someone is going to attack into it. You're going to give the opponent more opportunities to attack into it, and more potential to take her out, since brave hits are the best way to get rid of her. So yeah, not a good defense strategy.
your eyes.
Is that the right word that I want to use here? I don't recommend this particular defensive layout in the current meta. I think it'll probably it'll spin the block once Cordelia is out of the meta. I don't know, maybe we'll get, I don't know how you stop
どうしたいの
triangle attack from being a thing. Loki is an option in light and dark season, but outside of that,
I am not sure.
and
Message received.
that's only like limited. You can still play around it and get it to work. There's space somewhere. You just need 2 or 3 units, depending on which one of them you're bringing,
Sounds like fun.
and you can probably get it to work. But in Astra Anima, there isn't really a counter. Schism is a rally assist, so someone has to do something for it to go off. Unless you're bringing the Gremlin, Eitri. But the thing is, Eitri doesn't do the most damage currently, so there really isn't much of a reason to put her on your defense just to avoid getting hit by someone bringing triangle attack. So it doesn't really benefit you. So yeah, that particular status effect, Schism, needs to be placed on someone new that is a lot more powerful. I don't know
Will
if
do.
a ranged unit is the best person or the best unit type to have that particular effect. I think it's probably more beneficial to a melee unit, but there's only so much room in a weapon for you to put something like Schism, so I don't know if you'd really want that on a melee unit, to be honest. But then also, if it's a ranged unit, it's kind of the same scenario. Like, what are you going to take out? Because you kind of need... for a ranged unit, probably don't need no follow-up. That's okay. Really what you want is true damage, some type of piercing, because it's really important. Half Indy or having or full piercing. Maybe in a special if you can swing it. It's like 2 effects already, and then Schism would be 3, which is typically the most that you're going to get out of a unit, like on a seasonal banner or in the regular pool, unless it's an emblem hero. Then you can probably like start getting 4 or more. But 3, I don't think, like, just looking at those 3 things, I don't think those 3 things are particularly good effects for a weapon. But it would really need to be in a weapon for either a range or a melee unit that is really good for it to be beneficial. So unless they're going to put it in a refine where you can get that extra effect that way. But yeah, until Schism becomes more prevalent, Catcher and Cordelia are just going to keep being a thing, and nothing is going to really stop them. You could probably argue that you could just make bulkier units, but I don't see how you get much bulkier than Neathhogger currently. And there are plenty of ways to take out Neathhogger, especially with armor effective damage, as I've demonstrated. You can probably throw Micaiah at it and get it taken out that way. So yeah, really Schism would be the solution, unless they just release something similar to Schism but more effective. I don't know how that would work, but yeah, that's the meta right now. That's where we are. Everyone's doing this. So, and this is one of the, I still want to highlight the fact that this is one of those playstyles that I said I would never do because it's really strong. But
I'm not sure.
Neathhogger, this is the Neathhogger effect. If you can't beat her, this is really what you need to do. Maybe if we start getting more units that are able to solo Neathhogger, then it might fall off. You won't need the triangle attack if you just have a unit that can take out Neathhogger in 1 turn. But we'll see. I don't know what direction they'll go, with that idea as of yet. But GG's. We're gonna play one more. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing, pretty much. It worked so well the last time, so why not run it back? I did have the option of running Shez, Christmas Shez, but she doesn't do that great into Hector because weapon triangle. Even though she gets a ton of true damage from the speed check, still weapon triangle really just neuters her damage output, which is really interesting. And I probably don't even want to throw all of that on the weapon triangle. There's also the bonuses as well, and the lulls, and just everything that Hector does, and the dance in his A skill, he just debuffs her attack to 0 pretty much. So yeah, she doesn't do the greatest here, which is why I just decided to go with Leila. I think ultimately what I'll do is I'm considering bringing some type of blue unit for this. I have a lot of green units in this particular season, but then also bringing a blue unit means that there's already so much blue here. I mean, Crom is my primary blue nuke for this season, or on these types of teams. So you need like a balance, which is why I typically have Nino. But Nino also doesn't do very well into Hector. So, I don't know. I'll figure it out. That's the main reason that, what's her face? Leila is here. But I don't know what will happen to this team once Leila is no longer a bonus unit, because I don't know. Tana probably might. No, we're gonna Chaos Season, Light Season. Yeah, she won't be in the rotation. So I don't know. Leila is probably the one that is replaceable here. But I also need some. I love having Disarm Trap for this team in particular, because it makes the way that I play it a lot more flexible in terms of positioning. So I don't know. Blue unit, blue dagger.
I'll do it.
No one really comes to mind that can do what Leila does. That's blue or red. That's good. I think. Who comes to mind is. But then it doesn't even matter if they're good or not. They would have to be a bonus unit, and that's the main problem. Leila is the bonus unit here, so I don't see that being something that I could balance with the team composition. Someone would have to go, and Leila is the only spot that I could actually remove. So I don't know how that would work. I don't know how it's going to work when I have to get rid of this team or replace it, or I don't know, but that's for future me to figure out.
I am not sure.
Yeah, not much else to talk about. I feel like I rambled on there for like a bunch of minutes, but yeah, not much else to talk about. It's I've like mainly been making teams for Light Season because we're going to be getting it back to back. So Light Season, well, I have 2 slots left to fill, so I'm trying to figure out what to do with those currently. I think I'm going to put Bridget in Light Season because she seems to work out better there. Yeah, and also Neathhugger is going to be bonus, so it makes sense to bring her because she's green. And then aside from that, Grand Conquest is back finally. I feel like it's usually back in December, but it wasn't active last December for whatever reason. I think it just didn't line up. But we have it in January, so that's great. So that's back. I want to do like a team with some older units in it, because I feel like if I put just all the new units in there, it'll just be I'll just steamroll like over and over again. They need to put, well, I feel like it's too late now for them to put like a gen cap on Grand Conquest, or it's a fun idea, but I don't think they would like implement it. It's kind of too late now. They've just been allowing you to do whatever you want, and I don't think everyone has the barracks required to, like, let's say fill out all of those rosters with Gen 1 to 3 units. I don't think everyone is able to do that. I don't know. But I mean, having people on your friends list is an option, so you can just borrow their units. But then even then, I don't think you could fill it out. I don't think everyone has, because most people have probably already foddered those units or turned them into combat manuals. I mean, what else do you do with them? Just have them laying around, I guess. But yeah, I've been trying to build a mix. I've decided to go with generations 1 through 5s, just so that I can have more choices. Although I still ended up putting some newer units in there, like Hearthfulger, and some of the new Far saves as well, Hector, because it felt mandatory, because I don't have, well, I do, but I don't want to bring them. They're bad. I don't want to really use them. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. There's a couple of units in there that I wanted to test out as well. I want to put Faye in there since very fine. I haven't really given her a shot, so I want to put her in Grand Conquest and see how she performs. You're going to need a lot of frontliners because things are going to get really tough. But yeah, that's primarily what I'm doing. Tana is really, really good. Really, really good. I think, like, if you wanted to replicate this team, it should be pretty easy to build everyone else around her, or just, you know, bring different units that you have that can Gale Force. But Tana herself, I think this build is fairly expensive. Unless you have like a Spear Felix laying around, you probably don't have Excel. The Deadly Miasma is actually pretty rare. I had to, well, I've been saving copies of it just on my Rearm Marianne for this particular reason. If I were to get a unit that I wanted to put it on, I don't use Rearm Marianne for anything else, so it's really good to have it on her. But Deadly Miasma is really, really rare, and I think it's actually perfect for her because it gives her the lull, and then it also helps me to clear the terrain, which is something that I've been mentioning that I've just not been able to do in Astra Anima season. So I'm very happy that I've been able to incorporate that into this season. So I have a way to clear terrain effects on both seasons, light and dark, with Winter Edelgard and now Tana. Even though Winter Edelgard is starting to fall off a bit, I probably just need a different initiator because she's the primary initiator, but everything's getting so bulky now, she's just starting to die when she attacks. So it's pretty easy fix. There is an extra team slot there, so I can just put a different initiator on that team so that she can, you know, it'll let it be easier for her to do her thing. But the problem is Barricade is a big problem. I don't know how to, especially for light and dark season, I don't really know how to play around that just yet with the Winter Edelgard team, which is why I haven't really been using it. Probably more than likely is going to be that I have to drop Asker from that team, since he doesn't really offer anything aside from the score, mythic merges, and the thing that he gives, Resonance Blade and Shields, and the pulse support I guess is good too, but I'm getting really, like, that team in particular is getting really hard countered by Barricade since it relies so heavily on warping. So don't really know what to do about that yet for that team. I could probably add another dancer just to get my actions back so that my units can actually get to where they need to go, or someone with pass. But that's for, again, future me to figure out. I don't know what the solution to that problem is as of right now. But this match is done as well. Leila clears yet again. Very, very good team. I actually really enjoy this Leila. She's really good. But that's it from me. GG.